Do you hear that, Bears fans? Do you hear that? That is the calm before the storm that is going to take place at Lambeau Field this Sunday, 4:25 Eastern, 3:25 Central. It is past time for the Bears to beat the Packers. Haven't beaten them in 5 years, haven't won at Lambeau in 8. Spam FGB in the comments if you're with me. Full preview coming up on today's show. The stage is set as the Chicago Bears head up to Green Bay, Wisconsin to take on the Packers in Week 18 of the NFL season. My name is Harrison Graham. You're watching Bears Now by Chat Sports. Early line on this one, Packers 3-point favorites being at home. That's basically a pick 'em. Over-under between the two teams set at 44.5 points. So it's going to be tight, going to be close, going to be cold, going to be fun. Hopefully it's fun for the Bears. Here's what I want to see in this ball game. Number one, I want to see Justin Fields outplay Jordan Love because that did not happen in Week 1. And both of these quarterbacks have had uneven seasons. Obviously, Justin Fields' big decisions are coming from the Bears and Ryan Poles. And I thought he made a very strong statement last week in a cold weather snow game in Chicago. Can he make an even bigger statement going on the road and beating the Packers and potentially knocking them out of the playoffs this week? If he can, then he's done just about everything he can do to make his case to remain as this team's starting quarterback. Again, the numbers are uneven. It certainly hasn't been a perfect season. He missed a month with a hand injury, but there's no doubt he's improved. There's no doubt his teammates want him to be here. They believe in him. This city, for the most part, believes in him as well. Well, you want to even grow that belief. You want to make that bond even stronger. Beat the Green Bay Packers. Outplay Jordan Love, because if Jordan Love outplays Justin Fields and wins this football game, Ryan Poles may look at this and like, hey, this is a quarterback I'm going to have to go up against for a long time in this division. If I don't think my guy can beat him, then I may have to go get somebody that I think can. So, who do you guys think is the better quarterback? Type JF for Justin Fields, JL for Jordan Love. They're certainly different players. I think Fields has more upside and dynamic ability. Jordan Love's probably been a little bit better throwing the football this year. So, JF for Justin Fields or JL for Jordan Love. All right, number two, you got to shut down the run game. The Packers haven't been great running the football this year, but in their best performances offensively, they get the run going and they're balanced and they get that play action passing attack going with those deep crossers with guys like Jaden Reed and others in that passing attack, and you can't allow that to happen. The Bears have been one of the best run-stopping defenses all year. That needs to continue. Defense should travel. They need to play well on the front. Linebackers with T.J. Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds need to clean up those holes as well. And, again, if the Packers are getting 4, 5, 6-yard chunks on the ground, they're going to set up that hard play action game, which is an area that Jordan Love has performed pretty well this year. Can't stop Moore. That's how I view it. The Packers should not be able to stop DJ Moore in this one. He's been absolutely fantastic this year. You look at his numbers, career highs in receptions, yards, and touchdowns. That's why it's got the designation there. Just having a monster year. There's a reason he is campaigning for Justin Fields to return next season, because the bond between those on and off the field has been absolutely fantastic. And the Packers defense, while it played better last week, albeit against some garbage Vikings quarterback play, has been pretty poor down the stretch of the season. Joe Barry, at least for the fan base's sake, has been a bit on the hot seat, and I don't think Green Bay could stop DJ. I just don't. Look, they might double, triple team him at times because the Bears' other weapons haven't consistently been able to step up. And look, if he's drawing doubles consistently, someone's going to have to step up. But I think DJ Moore is going to be poised to have a very, very strong performance. All right, we are sponsored by PrizePicks. Daily fantasy made easy, and going to make some money during the final week of the NFL season. Get started with PrizePicks today. I've already got my first entry of the week. I'm definitely going to get several more in there, but I like this two-player entry, $10 to win 30. CeeDee Lamb's been red hot. I think he hits the century mark. Give me the more than 99.5 yards receiving for him. Bijan Robinson, that Falcons offense we just watched a week ago. It's struggling at best. Give me the less on the rushing there. So 10 to win 30, 3 times your money on two-player entries. You can win up to 25 times your money on a 6-player entry with PrizePicks. And it's very simple. They give you stat projections for a bunch of different categories, different sports. You just select them more or less, and you go to 2 to 6 player entries, 2 players, 3 players, 4. And obviously The more players you do, the higher bang for your buck that you can get. So get started today. Check it out. You can make entries in under a minute. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. The code CLNS gets you a deposit match up to $100 when you sign up today. Can we get a Matt Eberflus statement game? And look, I think Flus has this team trending in the right direction. I do want to give him some credit here. But other than Detroit at home, and even then when you factor in the meltdown in Detroit, like, what's his signature win? He beat Belichick last year, but that Patriots team wasn't that great. They beat the Lions this year, sure, at home, but you should have swept them. You go to Green Bay, and you as a defensive-minded head coach out-coach Matt LaFleur and that Packers offense, which has been pretty good recently. That'd be a statement, man. Like, go win this game. That is a statement. Like, it seems like, based on recent reports, Flus is trending toward coming back. I think that could change depending on how this goes on Sunday. So you want to cement your status here in Chicago, go out coach Matt LaFleur and go win on the road. And then just as the team as a whole is embrace the situation. And what is the situation? Well, you could look at it in a couple of different ways. I think the main situation is, yeah, you're out of the playoffs, but you can essentially knock Green Bay out of the playoffs with the win. Green Bay, if they beat the Bears, they're in. It's very simple for the Packers. They know if they win, they are in. But if they lose and if the Bears beat them, their chances drop down to less than 25%. So this is an opportunity to knock them out. Leave no doubt. Be the team that wants it more. And I hate to compare the Bears to the Lions, but do what the Lions did last year. Like, if you complete this, beat them, and just miss out in the playoffs, very similar to what Detroit did last year. Came out slow, stuck together, rallied, had a strong finish to the season, and finished that by beating the Packers and knocking them out of playoff contention. Bears can do that here. I would expect a very motivated football team, even though Chicago has been eliminated from playoff contention. So there you have it. 5 things that I want to see. Predict the score. Bears, Packers, Sunday, 3:25 Central. CBS's A-team. They're sending out Romo Nance and Tracy Wolfson. So it's a high-profile game. There's no doubt about it. Get those score predictions in right now. And I said it earlier this season that there is no chance I would pick the Bears to beat the Packers in Week 18. But you know what? I'm doing it. This team's playing well. I think they're motivated. They've stuck together. If you can't win now, then when are you going to? And that's not to say that Green Bay isn't capable. They certainly are. They're in playoff position for a reason. But it's our time. It is our time to beat the Packers. Haven't beaten them at Lambeau since 2015. John Fox's first year as this team's head coach. That has got to change, and it's got to change now. Bears win 24-23, not Green Bay out of the playoffs. I do want to kind of rapid-fire go through this as well. 3 figures in this organization. Does blank need a win? So that first point, Luke Getsy. I think Getsy needs a strong performance here. He's going up against his former employer. He's going up against his former mentor and Matt LaFleur. If he can put together a good offensive game plan and consistently call a good game for 4 quarters and say the Bears put up 25-plus points and have a successful offensive day, well, that's going to make a strong case for him to return, especially in the scenario if they keep Justin Fields, because if you bring back Fields, there's certainly an argument, even though I'm not a big fan of Getsy, to bring him back so he doesn't have to learn a third offense in 4 years. I think Getsy has to deliver a strong performance on Sunday. So let's go to the quarterback. Does Justin Fields need a win here? I don't know if he needs it, but he certainly could use it. And by the way, let me just make this clear for all 3 of these guys. I'm not convinced one game is going to determine their fate one way or the other, but you want to leave a good final note, right? And again, I'll circle back to my first key. First thing I wanted to see in this game is you need to outplay Jordan Love if you're Justin Fields. Look, if you go out there, have 300-plus total yards, couple of touchdowns, and you get outscored and you lose to Green Bay, but you outplay Jordan Love, I mean, control what you can control, but you can't go out there and have a stinker like you did in Week 1 and have Jordan Love ball out on you. That would not be good. Justin Fields needs to go out there, build off this performance he had in Chicago, take it up north, and have another big one on Sunday. And then Matt Eberflus. I think, ironically enough, he probably needs a win the least. I just think, based on reports, reading the tea leaves, that barring something drastic, he is likely going to be back next year. But I do think if you go out there and get embarrassed this week, like if it's midway through the 3rd quarter and the game's already over, that could change quickly, because Ryan Poles could look at this and say, yeah, we've made progress, but who are the teams we've beaten? And the way we've lost some of these games, that's a bit of a concern. You start out the season 0-4. You blow a 21-point lead to Denver. You blow a 12-point lead with 4 minutes left in Detroit. You blow a 10-point fourth-quarter lead against the Cleveland Browns, and you got swept by the Packers again in ugly fashion. So, look, you just can't go out there and have a stinker. Now, obviously, Matt Eberflus is playing to win, but what he really can't afford is to get blown out. As long as they're competitive, I think he's probably going to be back unless there's some sort of shift where they make a swing at Jim Harbaugh. We'll see, but that's where things sit right now. And I think, weirdly enough, who would have thought this a month ago, but Matt Eberflus, out of the trio of him, Fields, and Getsy, is probably the safest heading into this game. All right. There you go. Bears, Packers, Lambeau Field. If you can't stand those frauds in Green Bay, type FGB. FGB. It's our time. Go and take it. Bear down.